I get a lot of email and phone calls about problems with tripower revolving around hesitation or a bog. By hesitation, I mean off idle or trying to accelerate, you get a lag, or a bog, I would say at full throttle. You'd step on it hard and it hesitates some. Uh, they're not always carburetor related, so make sure and check your distributor that the vacuum advance is working correctly. If you have the old mechanical distributor with weights and springs, make sure those are functioning well. And there is this kit available online or at all speed shops with an extra springs. And I would recommend putting weaker springs in with your tri-power, depending on what cam you're running, but so that the advance kicks in sooner. That could be an issue. I've run into that a number of times. A couple of areas to think about. You want to, when people tell me they're having a hesitation, the very first thing you want to do is check to make sure that you're getting a squirt from your accelerator pump here. And the way I do it, basically you would look down your venturi. Of course, on your car you wouldn't have quite this view, but you're looking a couple of small holes in the venturi cluster here, and you probably always all seen where fuel squirts out of those. But if your accelerator pump gets worn out, you'll have problems there. You might get a weak squirt, no squirt. Anyway, another thing when I'm talking about it, with ethanol fuel, if your accelerator pump has a black rubber boot on it, it will deteriorate over a very short time with ethanol fuel. So you need a new fuel pump. This one's blue. I think they make a red one too. I carry the blue ones. Nice if they have the garter spring around the outside, which helps push the rubber boot against the wall. What I'm doing here, I'm just using a little WD-40, but I'm filling the accelerator pump well. This would be the same as if you had fuel in there. And when you push down on the accelerator pump, focus the camera right in there, you get two nice squirts. Check all three of your carburetors, open them up mechanically. Look down the throttle bore and see if you're getting squirt. This one has a little deflector on it, which is correct for 64 and 5. It's a little harder to see the squirt, but you'll see it. So check all three to make sure they're squirting good. If not, you need to resolve that issue. There's one other cause if it's not squirting. You take off the top and take off the pump like I did, and you fill the well with fuel, or I prefer something other than fuel. If it doesn't squirt, but it comes back up through this hole here into the accelerator pump, into the float bowl section, then what you need to do is there's a small check ball underneath, way down inside there. I don't know if you can see a little, probably can't. Now you can see a little silver ball down in there. That seats to so that when you do push it on the accelerator pump, the fuel doesn't go back into the float bowl, but goes through into the venturi cluster. So you might take that ball out, clean it out, and the kit comes with a new ball. Usually you don't need a new one. Just make sure that it's real clean down there. If you continue to have problems in that area, get a hold of me or a carb rebuilder. I can refinish that seat for you. That doesn't happen very often, but it's something you definitely want to check. The other thing you might check if you're having a hesitation, couple things. These accelerator pump rods, I'm going to point to the front one, but mostly just because it's more visible. This is the center one on the 65. It needs to have some preload on it, and what that means is that you're always pushing a little bit up on the pump, and then when you step on the gas, you push it the rest of the way up. So that's called a preload. So you can see here at rest, the accelerator pump's hooked to the other side of this lever. At rest, it's below the pump rod. You have to lift it up to get the rod on. If that's not the case, then you can bend the rod, straighten it out in this case, or in here you can see there's a bend in it. Straighten that rod out so that you have some preload on the accelerator pump. The other thing that sometimes happens, especially on the center carburetor, well, exclusively really on the center carburetor, this little lever is hooked to a shaft that runs on the inside, and you can get a lot of wear in here. There's very little in this one, but if you can move this very far, then when you step on the gas right away, instead of actuating the accelerator pump, this little lever cocks in the run here, and you're wasting some time. There's not a squirt right away, so I do sell I install a bushing kit in there, hone it out, ream it out, put a bushing in, and then it tightens it up. So check for wear in that area. That would be a if that's all it is, it would be a very minor hesitation off idle. If that's what you get, check there. You can check it just by opening the throttle a very little bit and seeing if it starts to squirt. Well, I think those are the main areas you'd look at if you're getting a hesitation or a bog.